Life can be fast-paced, strenuous, and flat-out overwhelming. Life transitions and taboo topics can make it hard to catch your breath. Welcome to Breathe, a podcast that enables you to slow down, get your bearings, and engage in real conversations where no topic is off limits. Breathe is presented by Breath of Life, hosted by David Person and speaker-director Pastor Deblier Snell.
Welcome to Breathe. I'm David Person, and of course, you know I'm here with the brothers.
Yeah, with the brethren.
With the brethren.
Yeah, I was in Jamaica in December, and everybody says the brethren.
The brethren.
The brethren.
Pastor Deblier Snell, the leader of the brethren here on this podcast. He is the speaker director of Breath of Life, and also senior pastor of the Oakwood University Church. To my left, as you can see,
What's
is
going on, family?
Pastor Kirk Nugent, the media guru for
we're
Breath of Life, and also the media pastor at Oakwood.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, good to see you, brothers.
I think, it's good to be seen.
Yeah.
Hey,
right? And not viewed, as they say.
That's right. It's another Monday.
It's another Monday.
It's going to be
That's
it's going to be a Monday of a great week for somebody.
I totally
just
agree.
want to declare that for somebody. It's going to be a
that.
good week, and for those for whom it's going to be a difficult week, you're going to endure the week. So I just want to give you that word as you start the week.
As you start the week.
Nice-
And this
nice
is a great way.
prophetic word.
Yeah, this is a great way, way to start off that week by listening to the Breathe podcast.
That's
like
it.
Yeah, listening or watching.
Or watching.
Or watching,
Okay.
that's
Thank
right.
you, Doc. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I'll
you.
watch
Thank
it.
you.
Because you got this great setup here.
Hey, man.
You know.
Listen, God is good.
So as we've been saying, you know, we're on this journey into the new year, and 2024. And today's show, we want to talk about weight loss. Now, I want to start by saying that, of course, if anyone is going to try to engage in a weight loss process, they need to consult a medical professional.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
But having said that, we have someone here who, while he's not an expert, he's not a medical expert, he has a strong story of his own journey.
Yeah.
And from what they're telling me, you have basically gone from like Eddie Murphy's The Clumps to the Incredible Hulk, brother.
Yeah.
This is T. James Jackson. James, how you doing, sir?
I am doing well.
Yes,
I am
indeed.
doing well.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Doing well.
Yeah. And I said the Incredible Hulk because I'm looking at your arms and I'm like, okay, this brother's the real deal.
He's the real deal,
He's the
man.
real deal here.
But if I could just say this, the one thing I'll say about, and we'll get to the physical transformation. I think the beautiful things about James is that the outward is not even close to who he is inwardly as a man, as a Christian, as a servant of God. So I'm really, really joyful to have him here with us today, sharing that story. I do think our audience needs to know that. You know,
Beautiful.
Good.
Some nice stuff you saying, man.
yeah.
And let me just interject here to say that for those watching the video version of the podcast, you will actually get a chance to see some of the before and after pictures. So because we are going to interject those in.
Okay.
So
Okay.
a little incentive for our audio listeners to come on and check us out on
That's
YouTube.
right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
So, James, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know before we get into the hardcore weight loss conversation and that journey, I actually happened to see you do some amazing choir directing at a church that Pastor Snell knows a little bit of something about, the first SDA church in Huntsville.
Right.
And I was like, man, this guy is like Cleveland Murphy the second.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come
He was
on.
working
Hey,
that
that's
choir.
That's
man.
high. That's high. That's
Yeah.
high praise right there.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I like music. So what you saw this weekend is, I guess, a big part of me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of known in the area a little bit for music. I play keys just a little bit. So I play for a few.
You being modest.
So that tells me he's a beast.
You're being-
That's what that
being
tells me
modest now.
I play for a few choirs at the church. Right now, I'm the assistant minister of music over at First Church. Then on Sundays, not at a church right now, kind of took a little sabbatical, but I moonlight, if we could use that word.
Yeah.
Sure.
Here and there, folks need me. I'll come and play. But yeah, I'm a musical guy. I collect vinyl. Kirk
Yes,
knows.
indeed. Yes, indeed.
I've got like 3,500 LPs at my house.
Now, it's a real collection.
Wow,
This is not,
that's serious.
That's a whole other
that's
podcast
serious.
episode.
It's a big
It might
deal
be
to
an
me.
addiction. We might have an intervention for
Well,
him.
you know what I tell people? It's no different than you collecting your shoes and basketball cards. Some people spend as much as I would on a record at times for a pair of shoes.
And what makes up the bulk of your collection, or is there one genre? Do you just kind of
So the big 3 or 4 in the collection would be gospel, jazz, soul, and kind of some current stuff. In that collection, there's probably like 12 to 1,300 gospel albums. So that kind of takes up
the large,
the majority.
Just because I'm always listening to choirs. What can we do today, from the past? Music never dies. I think that's one of the reasons why I collect, vinyl and old
this past Sabbath before I went over to church to visit with you all at First Church, I was listening to Vanessa Bell Armstrong. And she was, it was that album, let me see, is it Peace Be Still? Is that the name of the album?
Yeah, 1983. Yeah.
This cat calling out. See, I couldn't do that.
No. He can go. That's the whole thing.
He is young in body, but this guy's like 80 years old musically. Like, no, he's a historian.
Real talk.
And that's not hyperbole. Like he knows it.
All right, so I know you good stuff, man. If you know about that, then I know this is all right. So we gotten a little bit of a sense of who you are outside of your weight loss journey. Let's talk about that. Tell us about who you were at your heaviest and your, I'm going to say, your most unhealthiest.
So I kind of have to dig in my mind just because I've put that part of my life behind me. Almost like God puts our sins in the sea of forgiveness.
Come on, talk
I've
about
just
it.
kind of, done away with that. But so I was always a big kid, like the big kid, tall. My dad's tall. My mother was short. She was 5'2". My father's 6'4". But my dad was like 145 for years. I think he just hit like 160.
Man.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But then my mother's short, stocky, 180, 190. She might have been more. She wouldn't let me. But anyway, but she was short, stocky lady. But I got mom's genes. My brother and my sister, who are younger, they got dad's genes.
Gotcha.
So I was always a big kid. Always struggled with weight. 6th grade, I was 256, like 5'11", 6 feet.
Grade.
Wrestled heavyweight that year.
Wow.
By high school, like 320, 330. By the time I got to Oakwood, I think I had got to about 355.
Wow.
Okay.
At that point, height topped out 6'3". Summer 2017, now that was the unhealthiest. I was 420. And I think the thing, thank God, is even though I was 420, I've never operated as a big person, sluggish. I was kind of light on my feet. But 420, knees cracking.
It's a lot to carry.
It was just a lot, and I was. Some people, they gain weight and it's like for a short amount of time and then they're like, okay, let me get myself together. They lose it. But me, it was like a decade and a half of just being big.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget how we got to the point of let's do something for real. Because I had always tried to lose weight. And I think we always, I'm going to go on that New Year's resolution.
Sure.
But I'm like 420, size 56 pants.
Wow.
I was wearing a 64 long suit. Shirts 3 to 5Xs, casual male XL. I think they're DXL now or something. They were like my best friend. I could shop at the Belks, but it was like, hit or miss sometimes. But the turning point for me came, so my favorite uncle, who was literally like my dad, big guy. We used to always talk about dropping these LBs. And he was about 372, 5'10". He had a pulmonary embolism, 50 years old, died,
50.
Just random New Year's Eve night 2018.
No, New Year's Eve even?
Yeah, it was it was a lot, and so that kind of tore me up, for a while. It's still to this day. And then fast forward, we keep going. On my mother's father's side, or paternal side, her father, along with all of his siblings, so 5 in total, all dead from diabetes by like 61, 62.
Oh, man.
So the last surviving aunt, which we were kind of her guardians, she lived in Michigan. My mother couldn't go up there and check on her, so she sent me. So I go up there May 2019, and I had been told they had already cut off part of her foot, as a result of the diabetes.
Oh, my.
And so I was going up there expecting, okay, not to see, a foot. But it was wrapped up. We're good. So my job was to check on her and authorize the doctors to amputate her leg because it had gotten to that point. Wow. So I go up there. I'm talking with her. I'm just like, man, this is sad, And so I go to the bathroom. I come out, and there's this foot exposed. Y'all, and not to get any graphic on this podcast, so I won't. That foot haunted me for a while, driving back. I get back to South Bend, I'm from South Bend, Indiana. Yeah. In my dreams, I just see this foot. And then I'm driving back to Huntsville, and I'm like, Lord, if I get diabetes, because it's rampant on that side, if I get it, I could lose my fingers. I wouldn't be able to play a piano.
Wow.
Or lose a leg, I wouldn't play an organ or direct a choir again, and who wants to see somebody with no fingers directing the choir? And so that stuff kind of started floating in my mind. And so I got back to Huntsville and I said, we're going to do something. And so I got to give her credit. One, credit to my mom because she had mentioned intermittent fasting. My mother passed last year, but one of the key takeaways in this weight loss thing I took from her was intermittent fasting because it was working for her. But the person I got to see that actually was doing it right in front of me was Miss Cheryl Sullivan from First Church.
That's right. Yeah, Cheryl. Yeah.
She was big. I mean, like big on let's do intermittent fasting. And she, shout out to her, she'd fast for days, And so I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Can
I jump in here real quick? Because I think he said something that's really critical. Because I think, when you're looking at making any kind of adjustment to your health, I think one of the recipes for failure is if you're doing it just for vanities in a vacuum, right? The way I look in a mirror or to get ready to go to the beach or to fit in these jeans. But see, he connected it to his life's mission. Yeah. How does this affect me being able to play and, do what it is I've been put here on earth to do.
Right.
And I think that if we're always looking at whether it's any kind of health amendment or specifically losing weight, if it's just about the surface, because the thing about it is, obviously James, for those who are watching us, is a handsome guy. And even he was a tall, handsome guy before he began this process. Right. So, that wasn't going to really be an obstruction for him to be productive. I guess that's where I can say it. But I think when you connect it to your mission
and your purpose,
I think that that's a critical component for progress.
Now, I know you just heard what Pastor Snell said, but that was such a powerful point, I'm going to reiterate it. Weight loss as a part of your pursuit of your life's mission is critical, as opposed to trying to lose weight just to, as he said, fit in a pair of jeans or a new suit or dress or whatever the case may be. Very, very critical piece of advice. This has been a fascinating conversation with young Mr. James Jackson, who is a walking testament to how one can transform one's body through dedication and through the use of various tactics such as intermittent fasting. Again, we want to stress, if you're going to seriously pursue weight loss goals, do so in consultation with a medical or health professional. But definitely count Mr. Jackson in as somebody who's got a strong testimony and I think some good advice as well. All right, that's part one of our conversation with Mr. Jackson. Join us next week for part two. We're going to continue our conversation with this young man as he continues to reveal to us how his journey became successful when it comes to weight loss. And I think other parts of his life too. I'm David Person for Pastor Deblier Snell and Pastor Kirk Nugent. God bless you. And don't forget, no matter how challenging life may be. And when it comes to dealing with weight loss and health, it's challenging for so many of us. Don't get discouraged. Hang in there. Don't give up. And when it gets to be too tough, just stop for a minute. Pray and breathe.
Breathe is produced by David Person for Breath of Life. Executive producer is Debliere Snell, and sound engineer is Kirk Nugent. Audio episodes of Breathe can be found on Apple, Spotify, or Google podcast platforms. For video episodes and extra content, check out the Breath of Life YouTube channel. Breath of Life is faith-based content, resources, and programs from a contemporary urban perspective for those looking for hope and guidance. We believe that every breath we take is a testimony that God is consistent, that He loves us, and has a plan for our lives.